Hello, everyone. Welcome to Fogg's Cards and Things. Looks like we're ready to break our boxes. But before we do that, be sure to follow our Instagram and Facebook pages to get notified when we're going live. Subscribe to our YouTube channel to get notified about new videos. And join the Discord for a first look at cards before they hit eBay. But enough about that. We got boxes to break and cards to rip. So, ladies and gentlemen, children of all ages, let's get ripping.
Hey everybody, welcome to Fogg's Cards and Things. We're going to be opening up a box of 1990 Score NFL football. You can get a look at these. Joe Montana, Warren Moon on the front here. I'm going to show you the packs. There's 4 variations of the packs, which is somewhat different than today, and that they're not actual players, at least from what I can tell. They look like they might resemble somebody, but anyway, we've got one with a 16 from the Rams, one with an 84 from, looks like could be the Chiefs, 7 with the Vikings, and 80 with the Giants is what it looks like to me. So we'll do these 3 packs at a time. First one we'll just do one just so we can get an idea of what the cards look like. These plastic wrappers are a little less fun to open. So first we have Pat Swilling here on the base card. Picture on the back. 1 year's worth of stats it looks like. Neat card. If we get any variations, I'll, well, actually we just stop right here. Looks like we have a hot gun. It's a Dan Marino. Very cool card. Has a little more writing than the base cards do. He has 12 NFL passing records, at least at that time. All right, first quarterback club member. Put old Dan right there. All right, Lorenzo White for the Oilers. Query, Willie Anderson, Hassan Jones, Kevin Butler, Turner, Keith Jones, Gary Reasons, Thomas Everett, Kelvin Martin, Joe Nash, Shane Conlon, Warren Moon on the hot gun, and Neil Anderson on the ground force. Warren Moon, another quarterback club member. All right, now we're going to start opening up 2 or 3 packs at a time, just so we're not here all night. So the ground force, I can see that one. It says there are 12 different inserts. We got Willie Galt, Fullwood, Majowski, Hassan Jones, Kevin Butler, Alonzo Highsmith. Oh, and a Super Bowl trivia card. Turner, Keith Jones, Carl Banks, Dennis Smith, Reggie White, First Defenders Club, Vance Johnson, Vaughn Johnson, Dan Majowski, Jim Kelly on the hot gun, Leon White, Johnny Holland, Fred Marion, Newsom, Kennebrew, Alonzo Highsmith, another Super Bowl trivia card, Tim McGee, Ken Harvey, Turner, Bubba Paris, Holman, Seth Joyner, Jim Sweeney, Bird, Greg Hill on the ground force, Eddie Murray, Kevin Ross, put him in our Chiefs club, Camarillo, Ball, Hole, another trivia card, Richard Johnson, Tim McGee, Ken Harvey, Stephon Page, Sosha, Chris Jackie, good kicker there for the Packers. Vance Johnson, I like the pose there by old Vance. It's a neat picture they got. Tom Newberry, Rembrandt, rookie from West Virginia. I'm gonna open a few more packs here. Hey, if you haven't already, go ahead and like and subscribe to that video. It doesn't cost you anything to do that, but it just means the world. Get some feedback that people like the videos. Should keep making them. Or that we're just not making them for nobody to enjoy. But if you've liked or subscribed, I appreciate it. Dino Hackett for the Chiefs. Reggie Roby. Vic Green. Wright Jennings. Kelso. Steve Grogan, quarterback for the Patriots. Steve Walsh for the Cowboys. Covert. Clifton. Norwood. John Alt for the Chiefs. Steve Jordan. Severs. Singleton. Dan Marino. Haven't got very many what I would consider hits out of this so far. Pinkett. Murray. Walton. Randall McDaniel. John Offerdahl. Sterling Sharp. Made the Hall of Fame with his brother. Receivers Club. Eugene Marv. Thurman Thomas. Great running back for the Bills. Fred Young. Not even going to try that one. Gil Bird. Kevin Porter for the Chiefs. Neil Anderson with the ground force again. Roger Craig on the ground force. We've seen him with the Raiders. This might be the first time we've seen him with the 49ers. Mark Rippon with a hot gun. We'll put it over there just because it's a hot gun. But Rosenbach. Randall McDaniel. Good defender there for the Vikings. Marcus Allen. Wow. That's a good card. Just when I said we hadn't got very many hits, we're getting a few more now. Mike Tomczak. Ron Heller. Morton Anderson. Good kicker there for the Saints. Hilliard. Chris Carter. I don't know what year he came in. 87. That's a good card, old Chris Carter. Reggie White, good defender. I think I might have him over there already, but Aldo Turnbull, Rembrandt, and Farrell. Good set of cards so far. Picked up a little bit with that series of packs. If you see any cards you like, feel free, drop a comment, send us a message. Definitely try to get you something if we can. Brad Muster, Leon White, Boomer Esiason for the Bengals, Kent Hull, A.J. Johnson, Carnell Lake for the Steelers, Ken Harvey, Odessa Turner, Thurman Thomas, good running back for the Bills. Had some good years there. Marv Nash, Vance Johnson again, Newberry, Rembert, Billy Joe Tolliver, quarterback for the Chargers, Carl Lee, Vic, Bobby Hebert, Don Beebe, good receiver there for the Bills, Donaldson, Eric Thomas, Bubba McDowell, Vince Newsom, Jim Harbaugh, quarterback for the Bears, Hinton, Irv Eatman, Thompson, Russ Grimm, Lewis Oliver, not going to try that one. Mark Rippon with the hot gun, Christian Okoye with the ground force, like that card, Bruce Smith, Dellenbach, Barry Sanders on the base card, Darryl Talley, Dennis Gentry, Hassan Jones, not going to try that one, Sam Mills, Hinton, Dial, Brooks, Clay Matthews, Eddie Anderson, Richmond Webb, Mark Spindler, Lynn James. All right, gonna move some of these commons over here. Have I missed anyone that you would have put in the different clubs? Quarterback, running back, receiver, defensive clubs. Maybe I picked somebody you wouldn't have picked. So there's 12 ground force. see the other quarterbacks. I'll check and see how many there are. All right, let's see what we've got. There's the trivia. Just get those all out. Super Bowl trivia. Pat Swilling. Joe Montana on the base card. It's a good looking card. John Stevens. Minfield. Jerry Gray. Jacob Green. Lewis Lips. I've seen him in another set. Hamilton Banks. Smith. Spielman. Bird. Newberry. Barry Foster, rookie card. Jim Kelly with the hot gun. Let's see, I said I'd check that. 12. So 12 ground force. 12 with the hot gun. Keith Millard. Fred Marion. Boomer Esiason. I think that might be a double. Camarillo. Ball. Hull. David Little. Richard Johnson for the Lions. McGee. Chris Miller, quarterback for the Falcons. Wilbur Marshall. McClendon. Not gonna try. Lachey. Nuga. F. Jager, kicker for the Raiders, good kicker. Followed by another good kicker, Gary Anderson. Leslie O'Neal, linebacker for the Chargers. Bruce Smith. I think that's a double for Bruce. Eric Allen. Good cornerback there for the Jets. We might have already put one up there, but that's all right. Jim Kelly for the base card. Walton. Henry Ellard. Good receiver there for the Rams. Jerry Holmes. Treadwell. Andre Rison. I can't believe that's not his rookie card. Must have came out in 89. Yep. So this is the second year Andre Rison. A lot of people wouldn't consider him a top tier receiver, but I always enjoyed collecting his cards. Simon Fletcher. Richmond Webb. If you collected cards in the early 80s or 90s, late 80s, early 90s, who were you after? Who did you try to trade your friends for? My brother and I were both collecting at this time. I was more of a football guy. He was more of a basketball guy. So we were pretty good about switching. Looking back, he was probably on the better end of that deal because he'd get the Jordans and I'd get, some decent football cards, but nowhere near what Jordan's got. All right, let's see. Get trivia cards out of there. Phil Simms, good quarterback. Fullwood, Frolic, Jefferson, Legman, Bentley, Brown, Freddie Joe Nunn, Bernie Kosar, quarterback for the Browns. Irv Eatman for the Chiefs. I think it's a double for him. Jim Lachey. Boomer Esiason on the hot guns. Barry Sanders on the ground force. Bernie Kosar again. Christian Okoye on the base card. Art Monk, good receiver. Troy Aikman on the base card for the Cowboys. He was also an 89 guy. It's a second year card for him. Finney, Donaldson, Murphy, Treadwell, Marion Butts, Howie Long, feared defensive mind. Steve Mongo McMichael, also feared. Robert Clark, Majkowski, Barry Sanders, I think that's a double. Phil Simms, I think that's a double. Don Beebe, I can't remember. Neil Anderson, running back for the Bears there. Thomas McDowell. Jim Harbaugh, I think that's a double for him too. Jerry Holmes, Jerome Brown, Bubba Paris, Elliott, Tom Everett, Lewis Oliver, Jerry Ball, Jeff Cross, and John Freeze, quarterback for the Chargers for a while. It's not a bad card out of the set, I don't think. All right, I'm going to try to get some of these commons to the side again. Like I said, if you see any cards that you collected or you'd like to possibly have, just shoot us a message, drop us a comment. I'm sure there's something we can work out to get that card to you. These sets aren't worth much money. But the nostalgia value, I don't know if you can beat that. I do enjoy ripping these packs and seeing a lot of players from my childhood. Hopefully you enjoy the same. See if we can get that one out, that one out, and there we go. Boomer Esiason, I think that's a double. Lawrence Taylor, I was going to say linebacker for the Giants. Doubted myself for a second. Mecklenburg, Jackson, Brown, Noble, Charles Haley, I think that's a double for him. Jackie Slater, offensive lineman, don't get a lot of credit, but he certainly should. Montgomery, Jeff Jager, Rembert, Rodney Hampton, Bobby Humphrey, Frolic, Troy Aikman on the base card. Actually, we already have one right there. Donaldson, Tim Rosenbach, Steve Grogan, quarterback for the Patriots, Wisniewski, Gary Clark, receiver for the Redskins, Worley, Irv Eatman, we've got a couple of him already. Andre Reed, good receiver there for the Bills. Montgomery, Warren Moon on the hot gun. Neil Anderson, ground force. Dan Marino on the hot gun, back to back. Brent Fullwood, Leslie O'Neal, Dave Meggett, Andy Heck, Marcus Allen on the base card. Little off center, left to right. Tom Zach, Ron Heller, Vanguard, Leonard Smith, Donnell Thompson, Rowan Stark, Rembert, Jeff Jager, James Hasty, and Harry Newsom. I'm going to get some of these cards out of the way. Oops, kicked over the Score American flag card. Oh, and this card is Howie Long, a recent pull. He's sitting there talking to my favorite Royal of all time, George Brett. That's why it's out to the side. It's a recent pull, so just try to keep it to the side. Probably getting about the halfway point of this box. If you've stuck with us this long, we certainly appreciate it. I love if you liked or subscribed. As I always say, it costs you nothing, but it means the world to me. Makes me want to keep making the videos and just know that there are people out there who see them. Get the Super Bowl trivia out of the way. Neil Anderson, Browner, A.J. Johnson, Eric Allen, Steve DeBerg, quarterback for the Chiefs, Pete Stojakovic, Thurman Thomas on a base card. I don't know if we have that one yet or not. Marv, Banks, Keith Jackson, good receiver for the Eagles, Anthony Miller, Mark Clayton. Whoa. Gotta stop there. That is an awesome card. Ground Force Bo Jackson. Wow. We might even just need to stop right there. Let's just go ahead and sleeve that bad boy up. All right. Probably the first sleevable card. I mean, we could have sleeved the Montana, obviously, but Tony Bennett, linebacker. Pat Terrell on the rookie. Hebert, Don Beebe. That's a double for him. Ricky Dixon, Mark Murphy. Vinny Testaverde, quarterback for the Buccaneers. Chris Miller, quarterback for the Falcons. Vaughn Johnson. Tim Green. Tim Green was an interesting guy to watch play. Had fun with it. But these days, he's a author of some kids' books. Battling ALS, but got to meet him. He's a super nice guy. Carl Lee. Rembert. Christian Okoye. Chiefs running back. Big running back. Art Monk. Good receiver. I think we have that one. I know we have the Troy Aikman. Keith Byers, Rick Millen, Donaldson, Bavaro, Ken O'Brien, Woodside, Case, Warren Moon on the base card. I think that's a new base. Clyde Simmons, Hallahan, Hill, Roger Craig on the ground force, and Pat Terrell with the rookie. Did you open up any of these packs as a kid? What was the card you were after? What were you looking for when you tried to get these cards? Local celebrities, national players. You know, the Okoye of the world is, I mean, I think other people probably respect it as game too, but not as like a national like how Joe Montana is for me. You know, obviously he came to Kansas City and played for a while, but before that even I liked him. But that was more of a national thing. Herschel Walker, Leslie O'Neal, Jason Buck, Gentry, Hassan Jones, Ickey Woods, Mark Jackson, Thurman Thomas, I think we have one of him already, Carl Banks, Sean Collins, Jim Arnold, Keith Jackson, good receiver. I'm not going to try that one. Mark Rippon, quarterback. That's a hot gun there for the Redskins. Christian Okoye again on the ground force. Boomer Esiason, I think we have one of him. Lawrence Taylor, I know we do. Hebert, Donaldson, Thomas, Bubba McDowell, Jim Harbaugh, double for him. Jerome Brown, Morton Anderson, Sean Collins, Arnold, Loudermilk, Lynn James, Pat Terrell, Art Monk. We've already got one of him. Troy Aikman, we've got him. Ray Donaldson, Rosenbach, Treadwell, Tom Zach, Odoms, Roger Craig. I think we have one of him already too. Charles Mann. We can go in the defensive club there. Anthony Miller, Leonard Smith, Phil Simms on the hot gun. I don't know if we have that one over there or not. Ground force, James Brooks. Got a couple more stacks of cards here. Actually, we'll just empty the box out and I can tell you for sure. Yeah, we'll have a couple more stacks to open here. Probably 3 or 4. And we'll wrap up Series 1 of this 1990 score pack. Appreciate you hanging out with us. Watching along, hopefully driving down memory lane as well. Or just seeing what's inside the box. Maybe you thought about buying one and you're just checking it out. I would say overall, this has been a decent box. I'm sure you can pick these up for, oh, I don't know, $30 maybe. The Super Bowl trivia cards out of there. Richard Dent for the Bears, the first card here. Pat Swilling, Mike Singletary. We'll go ahead and put him in the defensive club there. Willie Anderson, Bentley. Steve Young. Second break that we've got to the end, or pretty close. Tim Harris, David Little, Steve DeBerg. Did not know if we were going to pull an old Steve Young. Thurman Thomas. I think that's a dupe. Fred Young, Lewis Oliver, Jerry Ball, Holland, Mark Rippon on the Top Gun. Bruce Smith, I think that's a double. Eric Metcalf. John Elway. I don't think we've got an Elway. Walton, Andy Heck, Bubba McDowell, Treadwell, Cornelius Bennett. I'm going to put him in the defender side. Kelso, Greg Bell, Dalton Hilliard, Carl Banks, Simon Fletcher, Fulcher, Chris Carter. Again, I know that's a duplicate of him because I'm not used to seeing him with the Eagles. Keith Miller, Johnny Holland, Jim Jeffcoat, Todd McNair for the Chiefs, Rosenbach, Randall McDaniel, Marcus Allen. I think we have one of him already. Heller, Morton Anderson, David Dalton Hilliard, Fulcher, Chris Carter again, James Hasty, and Ronaldo Turnbull. Yeah, got an Elway, a Young, a couple that I wasn't for sure we were going to see. So it was good to definitely see them. Probably have 2 more groups after this. Billy Ray Smith here be the first one we've got. Actually, I need to move some of these commons away. Back to our common question as I move these. Anybody that I've put in the clubs that you wouldn't, or that you would have that I didn't. That's always interesting to me to see where we stack up. Don Beebe, I think I've put one of him over there already. Childress, Jefferson, Barbaro, Jesse Tuggle. I haven't seen one of him yet for the Falcons. Steve Smith, Morton Anderson, Smith, Jerry Rice on the base card. Barry Foster, Jim Kelly on the Hot Guns. I think we probably have that over there, but that's all right. Joe Montana on the base card. I think that's a double, but we didn't sleeve the other one up. We'll go ahead and do that. Also, some people think it's overkill, but that's the reason we wear the gloves. If you were to happen to get that card, you would know we've never touched it. Sleeve up the hits afterward. James Brooks, Rippin, Bobby Ray Smith, Art Monk we already have. Herman Hurd, Henry Ellard. I think we've put him over there already. Sterling Sharp, I know we've seen. Kyle Clifton, Norwood, Jerry Ball. I think this pack started off slower than a lot of our breaks have, but really came along. Got most of the cards I think I was after at this time. We have not seen a Bo Jackson base, but I don't know if that's possibly a Series 2 card. We'll just do 2 this time. That way our last one's 3. Get rid of the Super Bowl trivia. Lawrence Taylor, we already have one of him. Hebert, Mike Johnson, Eric Allen, Donaldson, Tony Newsom, Charles Mann, Carl Banks, Simmons, Lachey, Mark Clayton, Loudermilk, James, Pat Terrell, Leslie O'Neal, John Taylor, receiver for the 49ers, Pat Lay, Jennings, Gary Reasons, Wade Wilson, quarterback for the Vikings, Bruce Matthews, Charles Haley, Deion Sanders, Neon Dion. I don't know if we've got one of him already or not. Sean Conlon, Bruce, Clay Matthews, Jim Everett, Hot Gun. I don't think we have that one yet. Grossman and Spindler. All right, one more set of 3 packs here. If the Bo Jackson is in this series, I'm going to hope we get it in this one here. If he's in Series 2, hopefully on our next break, we'll be able to see it. I do have a box of Series 2 as well. All right. Billy Ray Smith, Perriman, Anderson, Bubba McDowell, Herman Hurd, Newsom, Heller, Ilkin, Tom Benson, Scotia, Chris Jackie, Bruce Matthews, Ronnie Lott. I don't know if we've had him over there or not. It won't hurt if we have. Neil Anderson, Boomer Esiason. I think we might have that one too. Majowski, Bruce Smith, Muster, Eric Thomas, Tim McDonald, Minifield, Jackson, Brown, Gerald Riggs, Bart Oates, Tate, Bubby Brister, John Alt, Mashkowski. That one always gets me. Joe Phillips. Kent Hull, Talley, Sco, Crumry, Harvey, Dalton Hilliard, Roger Craig. I'm fairly certain we have a Roger Craig. Keith Jackson, I think we have. Mark Clayton and Greg Bell on the ground force. Tony Bennett on the rookie. That'll wrap up what we've got here for Series 1 of the 1990 Score football box. I'm going to go over some of our hits here. We'll start with the defensive club. I'm not going to go over all the Chiefs. You may not have as much interest in that as I do. But Ronnie Lott, Jesse Tuggle, Cornelius Bennett, Mike Singletary, Charles Mann, Lawrence Taylor, Steve Mungo McMichael, Howie Long, Eric Allen, Bruce Smith, Reggie White, Randall McDaniel, and again Reggie White. I thought we had 2 in there. Our receivers club: Henry Ellard, Jerry Rice, Art Monk, Keith Jackson, Andre Reed, Don Beebe, Art Monk, Andre Rison, Henry Ellard, Beebe again, Chris Carter, and Sterling Sharp. Running back club. Let's see. We got Herschel Walker, Thurman Thomas, Marcus Allen, Barry Sanders, base and ground force. Thurman Thomas, Marcus Allen, Roger Craig. Just one card. Yep. And Thurman Thomas. And for the quarterback club, Boomer Esiason, Jim Everett, Jim Kelly, John Elway, Steve Young, Phil Simms, Warren Moon, Dan Marino, Warren Moon, Troy Aikman, Boomer Esiason, Phil Simms, Jim Kelly, Joe Montana, Jim Harbaugh, Esiason, Rippon, Dan Marino, Jim Kelly, Warren Moon, and Dan Marino. The 3 that we preemptively sleeved was Deion Sanders, Joe Montana, and Bo Jackson. Definitely appreciate you hanging out, going through the cards with us. Hopefully you can like and subscribe to the video. And as always, God bless.